It's a beautiful Monday afternoon. The weather is very clement. It's rainy and with a little cold here and there, but it's very clement for the POLITY on Kaftan TV this Monday afternoon. I welcome you to the show that promises to bring you a lot of information, education, and enlightenment about the Nigerian polity. Today, we shall be talking Constitution review. Yes, that vexed issue in Nigerian polity that we have been trying for a long time now to ensure that we retool the Nigerian Constitution in such a way as to make it responsive to the cultural, religious and political aspirations of the Nigerian nation. But so far, it has been efforts with very little achievements. As we speak, the House of Representatives members, they are on the field, going around the geopolitical zones to collate and collate the views of major stakeholders in the Nigerian nation on what they want or how they want the constitution, the Nigerian constitution to be. They have visited a number of the geopolitical zones. They were in the southwest about two days ago, doing the work of listening to stakeholders which include religious leaders, traditional rulers, lawyers, and every segment of society, including civil society, on what they feel that the Nigerian Constitution should look like. Now, on the program POLITY today, we shall be taking a look at Nigeria's efforts to retool her constitution. How far? So far. Is it going to be another effort in futility, just as we have seen in the national assemblies of the past? They tried, they made some far-reaching recommendations, especially on some nagging issues, but the vexed issue of true federalism, the vexed issue of creation of states, and then an acceptable revenue formula still remain on the table. We sincerely hope that the current National Assembly will be able to pull it out and then do the right thing and give Nigerians a constitution that we can all be proud of. I have two gentlemen in the studio this afternoon to help us unknot this very knotty issue that we have at hand. On my right, immediate right, is a member of the People's Democratic Party. I'm talking of Comrade Dabio Kyobo Wamate.
Thank you for having me.
He's a PDP chieftain. He's also a public affairs commentator and somebody that has been quite regular on our platform here. On my far right is another gentleman. He is of the All Progressives Congress APC, a chieftain of the party. His name is Ambassador Samuel Danjuma. I welcome you to the program.
The pleasure is mine.
Yeah. Like I said in my short introduction, we shall be taking a look at the Nigerian Constitution and the efforts of the two houses of the National Assembly to ensure that we have a constitution that is acceptable to everybody and that we can all be proud of. Now, let's look at the constitution that we have around at the moment. Why have we been having this very strident call for that constitution to be retooled, to be reworked? Why has it not met? Why do we think it has not met our aspirations, comrade?
Let me start by saying thank you once again for the privilege, and I think the constitution might have one or two flaws, but the problem is or lies more on the operators of the constitution. We know that our constitution, there is no perfect constitution in this world, but we have one. But the problem we are having is the operators of the constitution, they don't strictly adhere to what is written in our constitution. And that is why the citizenry are agitating for a constitution that can compel, most especially the political class, the elite class, to do some certain things, to abide by. So you can see how, court judgments are being disobeyed without any form of punishment. You can see the inequality in the state's distribution based on region, like the southeast having just 5 states, while others have 6. Then the northwest have 7. So these inequalities and the revenue sharing, where some states will say, citizens will say, we consume and other people are benefiting what they prohibit, which is unfair, while some will say, following the democratic philosophy, population went from the rainforest going towards this thing. You see that there should be progression of population and not decline. But yeah, surprising to have like 44 or so local government in Kano and Lagos that is very much populated. You now see, is it 20 something, a bit 30 something local government. So these are some of the things that has informed Nigerians' agitation for a new constitution. Otherwise, it lies more on the operators of the constitution.
Okay, it lies more on the operators of the system. But people will easily point out that the bulk of the Constitution of America is unwritten. In Nigeria, we have a very bulky document, yet we still want to add more words to it. One of the reasons which we have always been having is that the introduction to the constitution that say we the people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the people ask, when did we as Nigerians say that? The constitution has always been criticized as a military document. Do you agree?
Thank you for having me once again. When you talk about the 1999 constitution, the concerns out there is, like you just said, it's more of a military, a refined of the military decree that was passed down to democracy when we came back into democracy from in 1999 till date. And I put it to you, the 1960 or 63 constitution is more of the people. It has more of the people's input than the 1999 constitution. Like you just rightly said, I was old enough to know when that constitution was drafted, and I didn't hear of any referendum or any for us to adopt the constitution in the first place. It was forced down on the people, and when you force documents down on the people, you find it difficult for the people to abide by a document they were not even they never contributed to forming it in the first place. So the issue of the constitution, it's more of not just the implementation, but more of the people don't own it. They feel they don't have a say in whatever was written in that constitution. And the agitation of the people and the crowd of people all this while is, give us a say. Let us have a say on how we are being governed, on how policies are being implemented, on how things are being done. Let's have a say. And I keep, when I see the National Assembly here and there, I'll try to review the constitution, I laugh. And why am I laughing is because you can't effectively review this constitution without the inputs from the state assemblies. And we know the powers of the governors, and the governors will always want to put pressure on their state assemblies to accept what they feel is okay by them, not just what the National Assembly decides to put up in that constitution. And some National Assembly members even lost the opportunity of returning back to the National Assembly if they actually stood against what their state governors really wanted to be in that constitution. We know the issue of the tax reforms, we know the stance of the governors, we know the issue of the revenue sharing formula and all that. If you want to have an effective constitutional amendment, then I think you have to carry the state governors along to buy into what you really want to do. And the first thing I will advocate the National Assembly did, which they have done before and it failed, was for the National Assembly to grant the state assemblies autonomy. And we're surprised in this country when the National Assembly granted state assemblies autonomy, the same state assemblies were the one who kicked against they having their own. So there's no way you can have any effective document without those state assemblies, because everything boils back that a two-third majority of the state assemblies must vote in support of whatever you want to put into the constitution.
We will touch on the specific issues that are contained in the present review in the course of the program. But now, you mentioned, Ambassador mentioned the issue of a constitution that we can all own, and then we continue to try to review the constitution. How long have we been reviewing the constitution now? The last assembly tried, the previous one tried, this one they are also making efforts to do their own. Why has it been difficult in Nigeria? I know there are some low-hanging fruits in the constitution that were amended, some cosmetic amendments, but the real issues that the majority of the people continue to clamor for, especially like he said, local government autonomy, especially another issue of revenue formula. I know something was done about that, but at the end of the day, it doesn't satisfy everybody. And take a look at the issue of creation of states. Why is it that those knotty issues, we have not been able to attend to them with the many years that we have been reviewing the constitution? Comrade.
Yes, you see, the major issue, and that's why we've not been able to have the constitution that the people can own, that we can say we the people in practice. Because when it comes to constitutional review, you see divergent interests. You see, I even read, the Abia State governor and one other former governor already clashing about state creation. In Delta State, say, in fact, one of the senators in Bauchi also said there is nothing like that, state creation. So if you look at it, at every point we've tried to create the people's constitution, let me put it that way, we've not succeeded. And that is because people want to impute their personal interests in the constitution. And if you look at it, I would have advised that instead of, Nigerians love dramas. They love drama a lot. And that's why, having understood the psyche of the average Nigerians, our elites play on our psyche a lot. Otherwise, we were able to come up with a memorandum, the 2014 conference, constitutional conference, which is one of the best that we've had in recent times. Now, what is the issue there that people come and sit down, or the National Assembly will be going to? So that is waste of human resources, waste of financial resources. Look at that document. Set up a committee to look at it in the office in Abuja here. Amend places that need to be amended and push any aspect you want to push forward. But going back to still ask for people's opinion is waste of resources. Go and ask how much they budgeted for this, a public hearing. You'll be amazed.
Sorry to cut you. Yeah. It's like you don't have faith in the current effort.
No, definitely it's a recurrent decimal, so you don't expect people like us to have faith in it, because we know that it is just a drama to distract us to sometimes. Because look at when we are just few months to election, because next election will start. It has even started, surprisingly. So definitely people want to focus on that. Why not we have this constitutional conference represented by both the religious groups, ethnic groups, every arm of this citizen of this country were represented. Take that document, for crying out loud. If you are honest, you don't need to go to the political zone at this point in time. Look at the nitty-gritties of that conference report and see what is attainable to amend between now and next year before we swing into electionary campaign. But they are going to, I'm telling you, it will just be like what we experienced during the Koromadu's Constitutional Review Committee and other committees. That is what will happen. They will dump it in the archives.
Do you agree with him that, number one, the time is just too short to have a meaningful review of the Constitution, and number two is that it's like another charade, another drama, like he said? So, do you, maybe you want to disagree with him, believe in the current exercise being conducted by the National Assembly?
As a Nigerian, which I am first, my allegiance is to this nation, and I agree with my brother on this because it's something that has happened subsequently. Every National Assembly that comes will tell you they want to review the Constitution, and within the Constitution, like you talked of something about state creation, there are clauses, there are rigid clauses that will make it processes that will make it almost impossible for you to even create a state. So when you know there are these bottlenecks in the Constitution already that will stop you from achieving what you want to achieve, I think instead of going every year budgeting large sum of money for this normal constitutional review conference and the rest of them, why not dust the 2014 constitutional document and make the inputs we need to make if truly all we want is for implementation? The truth is this: these are all distractions. We are close to election year. By this time next year, everybody is struggling for primary. So who is even going to look at the documents that you're bringing and who is going to implement them? Few months ago, was it early this year? No, that was even last year when the president talked about the Oresa report.
Yes.
And the white paper was going to, up to today, it hasn't seen the light of the day. So we should stop this rhetoric of always wanting to make it look as if we are doing something when we are doing nothing. This is not necessary. We have a document already, and this document, every phase of the country, from the civil society, religious leaders, political leaders, and traditional leaders, were involved in coming up with that constitutional amendment, 2014 constitutional amendment committee report. That report should be brought out, dust it, look into it, and prepare a white paper and let that be implemented. But if it's the present 1999 constitution that we have, I put it to you that this time by the 11th assembly again, we'll still get back again and they keep telling us constitutional amendment. It's a waste of time, it's a waste of resources. That document, if really our allies and our leaders want to make any effect, that document should be brought out, dusted and implemented. It will be for the good of all Nigerians, be you APC, be you PDP, be you any other party. Now it's about national, it's not about being political. Thank you.
Now, there are critical areas, like we have all identified, of the Constitution that needs amendments. And with the very short period of time left for the 2027 election, I think we should start looking at those areas that we can quickly touch and make meaningful impact in amendment that will have a good impact on the election, the general election. One area is electoral review of the electoral process. Now, if you look at the conduct of elections in this country, although we have really moved from 1999 when we started, we have really achieved much in electoral reforms, leading up to the use of BAVAS, which has made accreditation and voting a little easy now. But if you are to advise the National Assembly, especially on electoral reform, comrade, what are the areas that you will quickly want them to look at, put in place, so that we can have a credible election in 2025?
Yes,
2027.
You see, I would want to start with what the former president of Ghana said. He said, Kwame Nkrumah said, seek ye political independence first. And to incentivize Nigerians, we should seek ye electoral reform first. Because if we have a proper electoral process that brings about leaders that are selfless, not selfish, I'm telling you that it will build the confidence in Nigerians to be committed to whatever thing that has to do with this nation. Now, I've said that, Thomas Sankara said to his people, he said, do you prefer water for all or wine for a few? Because if you look at just the Electoral Act, it will really go a long way to address most of these other issues. Why do I say that? Leaders with conscience, selfless leaders will emerge through electoral process. And the first aspect I will want them to focus on is the electronic transmission of result. Electronic transmission of result. When people see that their vote can count, believe you me, they will participate in everything that has to do with election, and they will also live in a, in accordance with the Constitution that gives them the right to participate in electoral activities and other obligations the Constitution has given them. But right now, you see that nonchalant attitude. Bajabiamila himself was complaining the nonchalant attitude, the apathy in the local government election in Lagos State. So why are people acting like that? Because they don't believe that their vote will count. So the first thing what we need right now is that the National Assembly should ensure and not make it optional that in the let it be electronic transmission of result and put everything necessary, because whoever that is sitting there as INEC chairman, if he sees that it is compulsory for result to be transmitted electronically, he will put everything in order to ensure that, and let there be penalty for failure to do that. So whether he's in power or not, when he leaves, you account for it. Just like the FCC chairman said, he said there are some governors that are investigating 18 of them. When they leave office, they will go after them. It should be like that. So the INEC chairman himself will be conscious of that, punishment. If he doesn't leave, we will not be hearing glitch of result, and because of one issue or the other, we want to go back to the manual, retrogress to the manual collation process. No, let there be electronic transmission of result. So everybody will be seeing it on the platform. Everybody will be seeing it just like they open, and people are seeing the result. So that is what we should focus on right now. To start with.
Now, Ambassador, do you agree with the comrade that electoral reforms should be the priority in view of the shortness, if I can use the word, of time to the 2027 general election?
If there's one country that has a lot of laws, it should be Nigeria.
It's Nigeria, yes.
Because at every given time, there's always a series of bills that have been passed and been assented to. Yes. But the problem we have with all these bills is the implementation. Now, when it comes to implementation, machines don't implement, humans do.
Yes.
The first thing I want every Nigerian should start thinking of is attitudinal change. Working on yourself as a person, seeing public office as a trust, seeing public office as a service to the people, not as an entitlement, like the entitlement mentality we have right now. Now, if this is done, then people will now begin to see that when I go in there, I'm there to serve the people, not there just to enrich myself and my immediate family. Then another thing again is, I'll start from this angle. Most of the problem we have with our electoral laws are not just from INEC. It starts from even the political parties. What kind of candidates are you presenting for elections?
Yes.
The candidate, if you have the best of system and you bring the wrongest of candidates, you still have the same problem we are facing. So the issue with our electoral laws, there are laws already. One thing I'll take from what he said is, let it become mandatory that results are transmitted at record time from the point of voting, not even collection center, from the point of voting straight to the server. Let it become mandatory, because most of the time when you go to court, the judge will tell you it is not mandatory on INEC to use the results from the server, and that's why most of the electoral cases are thrown out at tribunal level and up to the Supreme Court. So first thing is attitudinal change. Secondly, the kind of candidates political parties present. Thirdly, voter education. Most people don't even know why they should vote. People don't even know their rights. I'm someone who deals with the grassroots, and you find out that most of the time people are just interested in what do you have to give us. Give us a cup of rice, and whatever you say we do, we do. If people really know the power they have with their votes, they will now know that your vote is worth more than a cup of rice. They will know that your vote is worth more than 1,000 naira. They will know that your vote is worth. People should begin to feel that at every point, this is about me. This is about my children. This is about the next generation, not just about the immediate. And until that is done, we are not going to head anywhere.
Okay, there is something that you mentioned that really clicked in my head: the grassroots. Do people at the grassroots know what is going on now about constitutional review? If you go there, you say you are a grassroots person. What are they saying about
Then,
constitution?
it will interest you to know they are not even aware that there's any constitutional review going on. That's why I tell you that what they are doing at the National Assembly level, if whatever they come up with is still not the people's own. People are not owning it. Most of the time, what you notice is that they are informed these elites within the society. They gather themselves, put on their agbada and come and sit and talk on behalf of the people before you even have such meetings. The leaders are supposed to have spoken with their people back at home. As I speak to you, I've never had a one-on-one with my senator, and he's there speaking for me. So how does he even know what the problem of my own unit is? I've never had a one-on-one with my reps. I've never had a one-on-one with my state assembly. So how do you really talk about you have actually gathered this information? So it, to me, is a waste of resources. What really matters is voters' education matters a lot. Educate the people. Let them know the value of their vote. Let them know what the powers of their vote. Let them know why they should vote. When you let people understand why they should vote, they will vote. Then provide security for them. Let them be secured. They should know that at the point of voting and going back to their homes, they are safe. And there should also be security to show that those that are actually voting are there and they are safe, and their votes are also will count. If you get all this in place, then we are heading somewhere. Yes, there should be punishment for electoral offenses. I remember the Waste Committee recommended that there should be special courts to try electoral offenses, which I know has not seen the light of the day, because most of those you are asking to set up those courts are allegedly perpetrators of those acts, so they won't set up what will eventually rope them. You were in this country when Obasanjo said that the act that the bill he sent to the National Assembly to set up the EFCC Act was watered down, because what was in it, if it was implemented by now, the issue of corruption in this country would have gone down. So what we really need at this point is attitudinal change. People should feel the pulse of the people. People should have conscience in whatever they do in leadership positions. Then we can really make headway. If not, no matter how beautiful the laws are, human beings are the ones who implement them. They won't implement them because they know it will rob them. But when they have the conscience that I must do this, not just to be accountable to the people, but also to be accountable to your creator, then you see that people will begin to do the right thing and at the right time.
Okay. In the course of your comments, you mentioned the issue of security. And I want to tell you that one of the major issues touched by the Southwest, at the Southwest Constitution Review, which was concluded about 2-3 days ago, was this issue of state police. And the governors mentioned the great work that Amotekun is doing in Southwest states. That to a very large extent, they have been able to reduce crimes and criminalities, especially kidnapping and banditry. And they are using that to say that Nigeria is ripe for state police. Is Nigeria ripe for state police, comrade?
Well, you see, before I go to that, there's something I just want to, throw some light to, and that is the awareness and education of people at the grassroots. You see, one thing is very clear. At this point, we shouldn't deceive ourselves. There is no enlightenment. The only thing that will incentivize enlightenment of those at the grassroots is if there is electronic transmission of results. It will incentivize people to come out. People, to be frank, people are enlightened, but they are not motivated, because they say my vote will not count. So they will not. I go to the village, you see, let me talk with them. You see, most of them are enlightened, but that fear of their vote will not count is a disincentive to them participating. But later, maybe I'll go back to that. But talking about,
let me add one thing. We do some work on information and enlightenment around here. You see, the problem is that the elites, the government, deliberately keep the people in the dark.
That is one of the tools.
There are supposed to be structures, although some of them are in place. You have the NOA, you have the Ministries of Information,
NOA is already dead.
The information officers and press secretaries and the rest of them. But you see, all of them are not doing what they should do.
Exactly.
There are supposed to be structures where people's views, opinions, feedback are supposed to be collected, collated, and sent to the authorities. He just mentioned the issue of his reps at the National Assembly. If I ask him about the state assemblies now, you probably won't see them in their communities.
It's everywhere.
You see, so it is a general malady. We do governance in the cities, and then we decide for people that don't even know who they are. Maybe during elections, they probably go there once. As soon as they are leaving, their memory is forgotten. It is when they now want to seek re-election that they come back to the communities. That's just by the way. Now, I think we can continue.
Okay, so you see, when you look at the pros and cons of state police, the present insecurity today, it will be good for us to give a shot at it. Because I'll tell you something. You just said how the one of the governors in the Southwest talked about the successes of Ameteku. You understand? Now, he did not tell you the other ugly part of it, which most people are afraid of. That is, governors using it as a tool against their political enemies, perceived enemies. You remember the former governor of Rivers State and the FCT minister once said he's not the chief security officer of the state, is the chief logistic officer of the state. So it will be, at this point, I believe, whether we are ripe or not, we should give a shot at it, considering the insecurity, the heightened insecurity. I remember, it's just same thing. One of our respected elder statesman, Chief T.Y. Danjuma, has said it, has even called for Nigerian citizens to carry arms. That is to tell you how bad the situation is. So instead of gravitating towards that, it is better we give it a shot at the state police. Now, there is another thing, not just having a state police. Intelligence is important. In fact, that is the fulcrum of security. And I noticed in my observation and investigation that if you look at what is happening today with the present DG, DSS, TOSIOSO, is one of the perfect, in fact, one of the best decisions. As an opposition person, I'll commend the president if I'm to commend him. The appointment of that man. You will see that he has brought back the DSS to its past glory, to focus on information generation, getting information, intelligence, and giving it to action agencies like the police, the military, and so on. Before you see DSS coming, we don't even know them. It was under Bichi you start seeing DSS coming to press every time and so on. But you watch, since he came on board, you see a different kind of professional operation of the agency. And I read, even Beji and some other people have put are people that were detained since 2022 without investigation, even without going to court. He had to not just release them, he had to pay them, even in a situation whereby somebody was court asked them to pay the person of 10 million, he increased it to 20 million, apologize to the person. The officers that arrested those persons are being court-martialed. Let me use the military word, court-martialed, right now as we speak. So you see that it's bringing back. If we can also have such at the, this thing, state level, because the police will need information. And if you don't have a police force that the average Nigerian have confidence in to give information to, whether you have state police or not, it might not be that effective, because the police, you see, they are not spirit, they also work with intelligence to be able to apprehend criminals and stop criminal activities and so on. So that's why I want to really use this opportunity to commend the DG for that action and say whatever thing we are doing, even though we are creating a state police, we should put this into consideration unit that can be this, because one advantage of the state police is that it's place you are familiar with. I've traveled to some part of my state in Rivers State where the officers cannot even swim. They are afraid. Oh, they are not used to the terrain. They need to carry someone that knows the terrain to go with them. But if it is state police, definitely it's people from that state, and there will be fertilization of idea, and you'll be able to get. You almost know each other. You'll be able to trace with intelligence, and the state police will be more effective. But without that, I think there will be challenges.
Thanks for telling me your state. I was trying to get, is this man from Delta? Is it from Bayelsa? Now I know that, I know where you are.
Thank you.
Now, I'm coming to you, and it is still on this state police. But I want to tell our viewers something, that this program is interactive, that you can be part of it, and that our telephone number to link up with us on this program will soon be displayed on the screen. Please call in and be part of the discussion on having a constitution that is responsive to the aspirations of the ordinary people of this country. The line is already there. Please call in and be part of the show. Now, Ambassador, we are still talking about the state police. I remember that even this Nigerian constitution does not allow for decentralization of the police force. In fact, that is why we have the Nigerian police. Now, and I know that at every forum where they say, okay, let us talk about state police, the Nigerian police force has always been against it. Now, in view of that, do you see somebody is already calling? Please let me take this. I'll come back. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to Kaftan TV. Please say your name and where you are calling from. Okay, you are calling from Ibadan. Dolapo, please go ahead.
Yes, I'm really enjoying myself with your topic today, sir.
Okay, thank God.
And consider various submission by your panelists there.
Okay.
I want to learn my voice on submissions there. I want to learn my voice too.
Okay, please go ahead.
The issue of constitutional being reviewed now is not well timed. How will you start something you cannot complete? I tell you that complete this assignment before they exit. Then the constitutional conference of 2014, that Jonathan did then, it was very robust. If you can share that with us, it's very robust. That's why people contributed to that statement. They were excellent people there. Why can't they just, like that comrade said the other time, why can't they just do their distance and, implement it? And just have one or two things to save time.
I hope they are listening. Thank you very much for your contributions.
Number 3, sir.
Yes.
On this electoral process, there is trust deficit.
Okay.
If I know my vote they can't, I will do what I can to make sure I'm there. But when you refuse to know, you know the right thing you won't do. The issue of electronic transfer of resources is the best. They use it over the world. Can I use it? Why hours? We know how to promulgate, how to
enact good laws.
But when it comes to implementing, we do another thing entirely.
Okay.
Then, for instance, this issue of the state electoral commission.
That's number 4.
Yes, it is scam. The issue of the state, I've not seen any party other than the ruling party winning the state. All the everything. A party won. Another party won 1 councillorship seat in Lagos. So don't forget. Okay. On the final note, that I may ask this, on Thursday, I think there was this promise of a recharge card. I'm here to redeem my own self.
Okay, we will. Okay, no problem. At the end of this program. Yes, I remember. At the end of this program, did you send the text? Okay. Did you send the text to the house?
I sent it twice.
Okay, no problem. We'll address it. Sorry about that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you've heard what our first caller said, but we will go on with the program as we have been having it. State police. Do you think other interested parties' interests, in view of what he has said, that we should try it? But do you think that interested parties, those that we call other stakeholders, will allow it be?
As a conflict resolution specialist, first thing is what we look at is the root cause of the problem. That's why people even agitating for state police. I'm happy he said something that this administration and the government I support has done, which has to do with the appointment of the DGDSS. I think that's one of the beautiful appointments this administration has done.
Okay.
And I will want the administration to reciprocate this in other security agencies.
Yes.
Because the first thing is it's intelligence gathering. No matter how beautiful your security apparatus is, without proper intelligence gathering, there are no spirits, they won't know what is happening. So that should be number 1. Number 2, we have seen what state governors do with even federal police.
Somebody wants to call in. Good afternoon. Welcome to Kaftan TV. The Polity is the program. Please, your name and where you're calling from.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
My name is Rabi, calling you from Kabati.
Kasina Rabiu. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. You are talking about the constitution review
Yes.
in Nigeria. So, when you consider the current predicament, the whole situation we are into, so the constitution, our legislators, there are some certain things they want to do. We need as a poor and vulnerable people, those people to do, not to review a constitution. Because what is happening everywhere now, considering the skyrocketing price of commodities, transportation problem, insecurity, these are the areas the government needs to concentrate and ameliorate it. Because without peace, you can't do anything without peace in your domain. Look at what is happening in Benue, Plateau, Zamfara, and some part of Kaduna State, where I am now. So you see, the matter of reviewing constitution should be set aside so that the government will decide and think the possible solution of these challenges we are facing. It's far better. But when they insisted they want to review it, they are going to review it on their table, not on the table of the masses. Because Nigerians are suffering. They have every right to vote on the government. Nigerians are suffering. I don't know whether people, those who are living in Abuja, because even the president, once the Nigerian president are implemented, some people that are in the corners can't see any change. You see? But there are some certain areas if you touch it, everything will welcome, especially the petroleum. Right from the removal of subsidy in the Eagle Square last 2 years ago, people are suffering a lot everywhere you go. That is the truth. So the government, but I know Mr. President has sympathy of people. He has sympathy. So we should think of the possible way that the poor people that join the queue and vote for them, that enjoy the dividend of democracy.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your comments on the program. I hope the government is listening. Now, please continue. We're talking state police.
State police.
Whether the stakeholders will allow it.
Now, we all know what the present state governors are doing with even the federal police. Now, giving them state police is going to be almost a call for anarchy, because we know that's why I talked about attitudinal change. If you have not refined the person, you don't give him powers, too much powers, because the first thing is you see them use it against their political opponents, and that will spell doom for the country. So it's not about setting up state policing. We already have the vigilantes. That is fine. We can use the vigilantes to gather information for those people, for the conventional security apparatus. We can also look at what we call the traditional councils. Empower them to a point. Before now, there's no up to tomorrow, there's no visitor that comes into any environment that the people don't know about it. Build that trust in the people that they can relate to their traditional leaders, they can relate to the security agencies of happenings within their society. And people should own up. Security is everybody's business. We should own up and say things when we see things, not keeping quiet until it becomes so. Because know how you will notice that there's an influx of people. The commerce of the place would have increased because there are more people living around that area that are buying things. You should begin to watch around what is happening around your neighborhood. You tell people who are staying in developed countries to tell you there's some things you can't do around that. You don't even need your neighbor that will put a call straight to 911, and before you know it, the police are there already. So people should own the security of their environment. Also, people should look at ways of attitudinal change. I still stand on attitudinal change. People who are giving political office, people who are giving responsibility to the heads of agencies and all, and the rest, should know that this is public, this is trust, this is not entitlement. You are there to serve the people. When people see that they are there to serve the people, they will now go all out to make sure that every assignment given to them is implemented. But until then, no matter what, if you like set up he talked about the ugly side of the Amoteku. I'm sure when people begin to tell you, locals begin to say what they also encounter with the Amotekus, you'll be forced to say Amoteku should be banned. Yes. But that's not the bigger picture. Is how do we create beauty queue? So I'm not of the opinion of setting up the state police for now, because we are not ripe yet. People are not ready yet. People abuse the state police. What we should do is empower the existing police force, empower the DSS, empower the army, and do more of intelligence gathering. Let us know before it happens. We should nip it in the bud.
Okay, thank you. I think we should leave the issue of state police there for now. Now, there is one other very loud cause that we'll be having this constitution review process, and that is true federalism, where it's usually from the south. Give us true federalism. We're not hearing much of it from the other side. Please, what is true federalism? And why is the call mainly from a section of the country while the other part is silent? Comrade.
Well, you see, right from time, there's some time to say, they say perception is the hallmark of business. If people look at your business, you might not have a good product, but if they have that perception that this business is good, this product is good, they will start to go for it. Now, that is the issue. The issue is that they not have this mindset that we are poor. So they don't want to talk about federalism. They don't want to talk about everybody managing your own affairs and come to the center and give the center something. They don't want to talk about that. But today, as we speak, Nasarawa is the richest state in this country by natural resources. Nasarawa state. So that is until the people get to understand that. That is when you say that, yes, they too accept the agitation for true federalism. Because today, everything, why is coming from the south, is because the south feel shortchanged, cheated, that it's our resources you will use to feed the whole nation. And they've come to the realization that, for example, oil have time that it will you will not start to finish. So that is why they are agitating. So they will be able to control their resources and manage it for the future and maybe diversify. You know, I remember one state, is it Delta, Rivers State or so, I said Rivers have been Delta beyond oil. Yes. They've even come up with such program. Yes. So if that is done, if true federalism is come, we will no longer have lazy governors, because we have lazy governors. Really, from the south, from the north, we have lazy governors. But if true federalism is on board, they have to think, I need to generate this thing. Look at Gombe State, they have uranium. Uranium, you use it to generate power. Use it to this tire for road. Yes. And so on. So do we have a lot? Bitumen. We have a lot. That's Zamfara. What is causing the crisis in Zamfara? I've been doing investigation. Lithium. It's lithium and gold. It's gold. We have it there. So it is the lack of creativity by the elite, the political elite, that is making them afraid, most especially from the north, to accept true federalism. Because if true federalism is there, you will suffer for a while. But by the time you have a leader that thinks like the likes of Kwame Nkrumah and Thomas Sankara, you'll be able to build like a nation. Like Sardauna. Yes. yes. You know, you'll be able to develop your state. And that is why you see those ones today. Go to the Niger Delta region, everywhere you see polluted. I cannot fish any longer. By the time this oil finish, how do the people from those areas survive? That's why the agitation appears to be coming from that angle, because they have started looking at the future, that there will be a time there will be no oil. What do we survive on? So that is why the agitation is coming from there now, as it is. Not that they don't want or appreciate the fact that they are source to livelihood to other part of the country.
We are still going on that issue. Well, let's take this call. Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Kaftan TV. Your name and where you are calling from. Yes.
I'm very happy for this topic this night.
Thank you very much. This afternoon, yes. Please, your name and where you are calling from, please.
I'm Jibril, I'm calling from Abuja.
Okay, please go ahead.
I agree with one of your guests saying that the root cause of everything is nowhere than reform of election. If election is being reformed, I like that the vote can count all this thing is just nonsense. You bring the right person there, the right person knows the right thing to do. Apart from that, I bet you, nothing is possible in Nigeria. Because other state police, this police, local government police, he says something. You remember when the minister and his city governor were fighting for a copy with federal forces and state forces? Because both didn't count. If the position you were, you know that if you go home, you will get your vote, or if you come home, you will not get it. You know what to do by yourself. Please, that's all.
Thank you. We appreciate you, Jibril. Now, we were talking about resource control, and then you mentioned the issue of whether the states are lazy and
why the agitation is more from the south.
Now, I want us to look at this resource control. What is the problem that you feel that will make it difficult for the National Assembly under this dispensation, under this constitution review, to bring anything out of the agitation for resource control or righting the wrong of our federal system? So I'm still with you.
Okay. You see, if you notice, in our try to dodge resource control, they came up with the PIA bill. You know, that is palliative, I'll call it. Because what the people want is total control of the resources. Let them manage it so they can contribute to the center. So they know, to that I speak with you, my place, you cannot fish, you cannot go and pick periwinkle, you cannot go and it's very difficult. You must to go miles away into the ocean before you're able to access those things. Where before I can stand behind my house and throw net and I'll catch fish. So the people are beginning to see what they are going to suffer in the future, and because of the poor management of the extraction process, you see, you have gas flaring, you have people going into this local refining of product, which has also further damaged environment, the ecosystem. And not only that, you talk about soot, like for instance, River State. There are some diseases that are beginning to come up. They are studying it in those regions that has made life expectancy short in the oil producing area. These are the things the people are afraid of, and say, no, if we are managing it, we will know how to, because we'll put this into consideration. Most of the leaders that have ruled this country are not from that area. Some of them have not even stepped their foot on those areas, so they don't care. They don't even know what happens there. So, but we know. So we know how to manage it. We know how to manage our environment and all this. Okay. So that's why the agitation seems to come up from there. Okay. If such a thing is happening in other part of the country, the agitation would have come up from there. Let them continue, start unnecessary mining. So what is happening? They have to ban illegal miners in Zamfara and some other states because it is causing erosion. We are not talking about that damage. So that is why it seems to look as if we are the one, the southern region is agitated. No, it affects everyone. Okay. But we suffer at the expense of our environment, the degradation. They are feeding the nation, and the nation is not concerned. That is a major issue.
Okay, now we have seen that there is need for resource control, as he has said. But do you think that this current National Assembly will be able to do anything about it under this constitution review?
I think one thing I tell Nigerians when I have the opportunity is that one thing that God blessed Nigeria with within 2023 and date is in the person of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Okay. Is the president that has begun to let governors know that you have to look inward, think out of the box, look inward, and begin to develop what you have within your own region. He talked about Nasarawa. Nasarawa is one of our governors. He has looked inward and has begun to develop inward what he has in Nasarawa. And Nasarawa now is beginning to reap the dividends of having such a technocrat in the position of as governor. And that's why I talked about
party.
No, I'm from Kogi State.
Okay.
That's why I talk about party primaries. A party has to make sure that you present candidates that have something to offer the people, not the most popular candidates that really have something to offer. I come to my state. My state has been awarded one of the most a mining compliant state, my state governor has gotten series of licenses to mine mineral resources in Kogi State too. We are also blessed with a lot of mineral resources. And that governor that I will look up north again, that is doing well again, is the governor of my host state, where I stay here in the FCT. That's the governor of Niger State. Is also doing well when it comes to looking inward, development of the state, transforming the state and agricultural wise. Now, I think what the problem the North has is this: education. People in the North are not educated to even know. People in the North are not enlightened to know what they even have within the northern region. A large percentage of the North are not aware of what they really have, and that's why you see that whenever there's this agitation, they always counter it. If the North would have accepted resource control, the North would be doing better than even the states in the South, because of what the North are blessed with. I remember in this country, before I was born, we talk of the Granite Pyramid. Most of the development in this country, at the early stage of this country, was from resources gotten from agriculture, which was done far north. Now, look at the tax bill that the president brought. Why I said one of the blessings of that this country have between 2023 and date is in the person of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The tax reform bill. Some of the items that were exempted from the tax reform bill is agriculture. And what is the major business up north? Is agriculture. So that means the North now will not be paying taxes on agricultural products again, which will bring more money to farmers up there in the North. So people should be enlightened. I think the agencies of government that needs to enlighten people on this, the NOA that you talked about, I only hear about NOA on paper. I've not seen them really doing what they're supposed to do. Back then when we were growing up, you hear them on Radio Nigeria educating people on what, but of late, most of these things are no more in the spotlight again. They should be empowered to let people know. When people know what they benefit from most of those things, they will not agitate. Because far north, the Northerners, I'm happy this conversation is between a Southerner and a Northerner. I'm from the Northeast, from the South. Up north, they believe that it has to be coming every month ending, come to Abuja, come and collect, come and be fed by the bottle, and go back up north and spend it. But it's more beautiful when you now generate your resources yourself. You'll be able to know how to manage what you generate, and you enrich your people more by they generating it. I feel for the south, because with time, this is going to be the previous administration under late President Buhari talked about cleaning of the south, and I think that was only just on paper until date. I don't think anything meaningful has been done, and this is going to affect generations yet unborn. So it is time for people up north to own it, come up with policies to be able to, and I think if these are part of the things that National Assembly are looking at, they'll be able to make amends to it even before time.
Okay, quickly, I want to say that right from the administration of former President Goodluck Jonathan, there is a what we call the geophysics map of mineral resources in the country. Yeah. So it's not rocket science anymore. With the punch of a button, you know the quantity of mineral resources and the type that are in various parts of this country. There has to be other issues why the resources are not being tapped in commercial quantity, but that they don't know, I think they all know. Now, one other thing that I quickly want you to respond to is this high prep. This is not part of our discussion, but since he has mentioned it, is anything going on in the south on this cleaning?
Well, the high prep is primarily for the Gonis, and they have set up that a lot of the Gonis have agitated. It is just on paper. There is no even site. They agitated. They came to the site and they came and saw things for themselves. They carried the mud and saw the heart aching. This intimidation the people are suffering. But we keep on hearing one bottleneck or the other. They remove this person. Why not appoint indigenes from those places that know those places? So when they don't do it, their people will go after them, because they know they affected it.
So nothing is going on.
Nothing serious is going on. The place is still there. How long did it take? Is it the former administration, not under Trump, to clean Texas when there was oil spillage? How long did it take? But look at what is happening. Here is all we hear is story. That is just one enclave of Niger Delta. We are not talking about other aspects. axes, talk to the job areas and other Irobo, Ichekri and Isoko land.
Okay.
We are just talking about gold. So it's quite unfortunate. It's just politics and drama.
Okay. I remember somebody told us during one of conferences or seminar that in Texas that you have just mentioned, you can spread a mat under an oil rig and sleep there.
Okay.
As clean as it is. Anyway, we will get there. Let's move on. Although we've mentioned it in the course of this program, I want us to go seriously into it now. Local government autonomy as one of the knotty issues again that this constitutional review process is taking on board. I think a mileage has been recorded already with the Supreme Court judgment.
Yes.
But do you think this one now, local governments will now have an autonomy at the end of this process? Let me ask Comrade.
Let me start with your last question before he responded. That why is it that state governors, it's not that they are not aware, are not being able to tap some of these mineral resources? Before now, the mineral resources was on a concurrent list. It was solely for the federal government.
Yes.
The state government did not have access to.
Yes.
Now, my state governor, Osman Ododo, has been able to secure licenses now, so that means they now have rights to. I think what our legislature should do is should look at those clauses in the constitution. Those are the those ones are not going to take much time. Clauses that needs to be amended to make sure that you take those mineral resources off the concurrent list, so that it's now state government can now own these things, because you find out that you must get license from the federal government to mine the mineral in your state. So these are some of the issues. Then the bottlenecks. Then when it comes to local government autonomy, I think one thing about that Supreme Court judgment is that it wasn't assertive. It was just advising the executive on what to do. Because if the Supreme Court has said local governments should be given full autonomy as enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I think by now that would have been implemented. But it was like an advice that local government should be given full autonomy. My state, I always go to my state because it's the state where I know more of what is happening. Before now, we have been practicing a very good sizable portion of autonomy for local governments, whereby their funds are released to them, even though we have a joint account, but the funds are always released to the local governments to know what to do at their local government level. But I would want to see, I'm telling you what I know.
Okay.
I want to see whereby it trickle down, that fund don't even come to a joint account again. It just goes straight to the local. But one thing is this, like I talked about conflict resolution, there's an issue there. Some local governments, if you decide to pull this fund straight, I'll give you an example of what President Anambra State Governor talked about. I'm from Ida local government. I served all my life in Dekina local government, or I served all my life in Kaba local government. I'm retired. Pensions needs to be paid. Now, if you say completely, some funds should not be pulled out from, so it is to have a joint account within the local government and within the state, whereby those pensions can be catered for, then you won't expect that somebody that never worked in Ida all his life would have retired because he's from Ida and he has retired back home. You're not expecting that local government to now start paying him pension. So there are some little buttons. That's why I said some of these things are not the constitution. That's why people are having issue with this constitution, that we don't own it, because some of these things were not actually looked into or imputed into the constitution itself. So what has been going on is that AGF has made different pronouncements between this time and this times. The CBN has also come to say, okay, set up a private account, direct account for each local government for these funds to be pulled in. All these are all political. What we need to do now is back to attitudinal change. People should learn to believe that if you release these funds to local governments, you're actually going to create more revenue at the local government level, more project development at the local government level, more transformation at the local government level. State governors should now wake up and say, no, at this point, it's more about the people, not just about what is on paper, and agree with the president and let the local government autonomy fully see the light of the day. Until then, we'll keep on speaking from one English to another, and until and it won't see the full implementation of the local government autonomy. And we should also look at the constitution. Where are the little bottlenecks? I had a former governor of Lagos State saying that even in the constitution, there's no full autonomy for the local government.
Yes.
So if there is no full autonomy for the local government in the constitution, and we are being guided by the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, then
okay,
it will be difficult to make headway.
Comrade, I will want you to comment on local government autonomy, whether it is possible under the current effort to review the constitution, before I make my own.
Okay, before I go to that, let me disagree with my brother that the emergence of the president is not the best thing that has happened to Nigerians.
We are not discussing.
No, he made mention of this. So I just said, let me chip in. So that is, by the way, sir.
Okay.
I just said, let me chip it. But I would say that, you see, I used to tell people that we only have one arm of government and its subsidiaries. The states and the local government are subsidiaries of the federal government. That is what I see it. And I also say the executive arm is just the major body. The judiciary and the legislators are subsidiaries of the government. Because
are you reviewing the constitution?
I'm telling because what I'm saying that where does the power lies?
Yes.
That is the question. Now, talking about local government autonomy, the Supreme Court pronouncement, no matter how bad it looks, has given people some kind of enlightenment and some confidence that this thing is possible.
It is.
You can even demand to some extent for it. Now, yes, the government, as we speak, the Supreme Court has made that pronouncement. We can leverage on that pronouncement. That's why in my statement, ab initio, I said the operators of the Constitution is the issue. Even there is an advice. The Supreme Court has advised. If we have people with conscience and with love for nation, they will take the advice and will operate it and give that autonomy to the local government. But you see, just like you mentioned in one of your discourse, you said, well, the stakeholders, who are the stakeholders, the elites, the political class, allow full autonomy for a local government. To be frank, keep politics aside. No governor in this country, no single governor can boast of that. Whether APC, PDP, no single governor can boast that they have given autonomy to local government. It was after the Supreme Court pronouncement they started avoiding joint account. Now, if you talk about the bottleneck, it's simple. When you are a year to retirement, there is what we call transfer of service. I've worked before I resign with National Identity Management Commission, senior office staff. So you can just transfer service to your own local government and retire there and get your pension there because it's still within the state. So these are things that, you see, we need to look at. Is the operators, no matter how we avoid the constitution, you just said we have a bulky this thing. UK is a written constitution, they operate. Why is it working? The operators. Yes, it's not bulky. Why is it working? The operators. See what the bill concerning this deportation. See what the Supreme Court pronouncement made against the president this thing. It's operators. So this local government issue too still lies on that because the Supreme Court has whether it's total or not in the constitution. It is there.
Okay. Wait, I said I will make my own views known.
Yeah.
I think one of the issues is that there are some people that are afraid of what autonomy to the local government will even mean to the people. You know, I remember when we were still young reporters and we were covering local government activities in those days, many years ago. The local governments were owing teacher salaries. They were not taking care of the schools. They were not taking care of health system. What were they doing? They were having constructing earth roads, small earth roads, few kilometers, huge amount of money, or holding conferences, trainings, and the rest of it. They fritter away the money.
Sir, please.
No.
Okay. No. Let me just chip in this. This thought. You see, you said something. It will expose them. Now, I have this assembly member in my state, my local government. I have 2 state constituency. Before he came on board, people never knew that there is what they call constituency projects or allowance for that. when he came on board, he interlocked his compound. People were like, he legislators. He did the next compound. I'm telling you, from that day, everybody that came, in fact, they queried him for doing that. His colleagues, from the information we gathered, today, almost all the compound in my town has been interlocked. Because they felt that his action exposed them. In order to sustain it, to secure the vote of the people, they will build a town hall where we call it Kuware in our language, where the compound meets, and it will interlock for 2-3 compounds. So they now said, is it possible? He told them yes. As a legislator, have constituency the whole of my town almost is interlocked because of that single action. And that is what they are afraid of. If today you have a local government chairman that is there and performs, and is not it has a political aspect of it, because if they're independent, you cannot control them. Also, so it has a political implication. That is what they are afraid of.
Yes.
So I cannot tell the local government chairman to deliver me.
That's what I want to ask him now about governors. You know, governors are the ones recruiting local government functionaries, chairman, legislators, and the rest of them. Will they ever recruit anybody that can look at them in the face and tell them the truth? So if you are asking for autonomy, you are already in the recruitment exercise, you already make the local government subservient, because they use local government offices to rehabilitate some people.
I beg to differ, because I don't understand where you got your statistics from, because normally what happens is there's a primary of every of the candidates. Either is going to be consensus primary or what, but there's a primary where party faithfuls decide to say, okay, this is the person we want to go for these offices, and an election, and the person gets in. Now, part of what the Supreme Court judgment was scrubbing of state electoral office commissions, so that INEC now will now conduct elections for local government chairman. I think after after that window, any other local government election going further was supposed to be conducted by INEC. So it's not about looking at you in the face and speaking to you. No, it's about, see, all these boys back, I will keep saying one word, like I said from the beginning: attitudinal change. Do you really understand why you are there? Do you know that your being there is as a trust and a service to the people? If you know that's why you are there, then you will serve in your capacity. I remember, thank God you mentioned there that far back then, when you guys were young reporters, local government chairman were using the money meant for development of local government, yes, to do whatever they like. At the end of the day, now the beauty of it is we now have an EFCC who have told local government chairman, whatever you do, we are coming for you when you are gone. The state governor will not be able to defend you, so know that we'll come for you. So when people know that whatever actions they carry out, they will account for it here before men and before God, I think there will be a lot of change to the way they behave. Like you talked about, even if not under the administration of the present governor in my state, I don't know that state assembly members get constituency project allowance. We never knew of it. Now we are aware. When this is paid, we know it has been paid. Then we start asking the question: you got constituency allowance? What have you done with it? When you cannot see, people should know their rights. People should know that they have rights to ask questions. Constructive criticism is allowed. It's when you now begin to go up the board that you begin to have issues. When people know, people will really put these people on their toes.
Sorry. Thank you. Good afternoon. This is Kaftan TV. Welcome to the POLITY. Hey, good afternoon. Mohammed from Maiduguri. Yes, please go ahead. Thank you. Thank you. Can you speak louder a bit? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Even though your sound is not so loud, but we're able to pick one or two things. Thank you very much for calling. Well, our time is fast spent. We've done quite a lot on the program today. But before we go, I don't know whether my viewers still notice that my guests are from opposing parties. Ambassador is from the APC, while Comrade is from the PDP. I will not allow them to talk politics here, but I think it will be a disservice to you, my guests. I mean my audience, if I don't allow them to talk to talk politics, do their trade. Now, your party PDP, I think we know what is happening in the party, or has anything changed? Because you are likely to tell us that the party is now on course. Is PDP really on course?
No, I don't know what you mean by change, what you want to change, but the truth remains, I see, it's only a fruit, a tree that is bearing fruit. You see students who are going and stop over to throw stone at it, to pluck, So that is why you see PDP everywhere. Every little thing we do, people carry PDP, because that is the only party they know in Nigeria today as we speak. Now, having said that, we have challenges. Like every other party, we have our own fair share of what I call interest wrangling. But they don't know that what they have in the ruling party is far worse than what we have.
No, he's going to talk about it.
Okay, he's going to talk about it. But what I'm going to say is that our challenges, we have overcome it.
Okay.
One of that is the issue of our national secretaryship.
Okay.
And our leaders, in the wisdom of the Constitution and the Supreme Court pronouncement, have come to the agreement and understanding that there is no way the national secretaryship can be, the national secretary Netanyahu can be removed illegally, because the Constitution and the Supreme Court pronouncement in his favor. So having resolved that issue, if you look at it, after that we've held next meeting, you hear that no more issues, interest wrangling as it was before, and you'll see we're having next meeting this week on the 24th of this July 2025.
Okay. Maybe you'll be able to stop people from leaving.
No. You see, you cannot stop people. Even APC people are leaving. ADC people, some people that went to ADC in Benue State, they ran back. We know a governor that is standing on two legs. There is a Chinese policy under Mao Zedong that he called standing on two legs. So some governors have adopted it. They are in ADC. They want to take PDP structure. So you see that PDP is the only formidable platform that Nigerians should bank on.
Okay, Ambassador, I think you will tell me that the APC is in solid health.
The beauty of it is when I watch, listen to a PDP president speak, I laugh.
Leave PDP
and why do I laugh is simple. Now, let me talk about my party first.
Yes.
As far as the APC is concerned, today the APC is a party we came into power with before by 2023. I think we had about was it 17 out of the 36 governors.
States, yes.
As I speak today, our ranks is growing on the daily basis. He talked about it's only a tree that bears fruit that children throw stones. So let me buy that leaf from him. That means having all those people coming into the APC shows that APC is a party to beat in any election. APC is a home to all. APC gives every Nigerian the sense of belonging. Young progressives like us are happy to be in the APC because APC gives us a sense of belonging. Okay. APC feels the pulse of the people, and that's why you see that every state wants to be under the national national party and make sure that everything goes well. So no. You allowed him. He kept talking and talking and talking. Yes. Now you can see that my party is not in disarray. Okay. Our party has what we call internal conflict resolution mechanism, whereby we resolve our issues and we don't let it to go haywire. Maybe because we are coming from the opposition, we knew what opposition looks like, and we are now as a ruling party, and we are now being able to manage our situation. And we are a party that we are ready to. It is owned by nobody. We are ready to let anybody go if it's going to cost the unity of the party and the progress of the party. You saw what happened with our national chairman, and in a few days' time too, we will also be having our own neck meeting too. So we have been having. So APC is the party to beat in any election. APC is the only party known anywhere in Nigeria, and Nigerians are happy and will be willing to vote us again whenever any election comes.
Yes, this is the beauty of the POLITY on Kaftan TV, where we have opposing views on issues, divergent views on issues. That's the beauty of democracy. And I must thank you, gentlemen, for coming on the program. Comrade Anjuma, thank you very much for your forthrightness on the program and the depth you have brought about. And I want to thank you, Comrade, too, for all that you have said on this program, especially the deep thinking that you two have offered on this edition. This is where we call it a date on the program, The POLITY. My name is Shegun Ojelade. Join me again at 8 p.m. for Matters Arising.